Well, good evening. Welcome to When Wisdom Talks. I'm Alisha.
And I'm Kadesha.
And I'm Naomi.
Oh
And
my God.
welcome to another episode of When Wisdom Talks with your wonderful host, the Wisdom on the Wall Trio. We want to let all of you know that we appreciate you every single week that you tune in. That's right. We got much love for you for tuning in every single week. And all of our newcomers, hey, hey, hey. Welcome. Leave us a message in the chat to let us know if you're a newbie so we can give you a shout out. We definitely want to acknowledge you. And of course, each and every week we have to let you know that this show and every other episode is sponsored by When Wisdom Talks, or Wisdom on the Wall, rather, and the Inspired Global Network. It's so easy to get those two mixed up.
It is.
It
Know what
is.
I mean? Y'all know what I mean. We are sponsored by some lovely organizations. Let's just put it like that.
There we
And
go.
of course, we got to let you know what our mission is. It is to empower all of you to live better and wiser through engaging discussions, fun activities, and inspiring special guest interviews like the one we have for you tonight. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and share the floor with my sister Kadesha.
As I'm sitting here trying to share the show. So before I hop in, y'all go ahead and share the show on Facebook, on Instagram, and tell them they can get on YouTube. For all of them who are not on the Facebook world platform, that's okay. But go ahead and tell them to they can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. So yeah, happy Thursday. Yeah, this is the last Thursday of the month, believe it or not. We are headed into the fabulous month of February. Yes, Black History Month and my birthday month. So looking forward to that. But as we wrap up this month, this theme for the month of January has been Plan for Success. We could do a say lie moment on that one. But plan for success. And specifically this week, we are celebrating the national theme that's called National Inspire Your Heart with Art Day. That is a mouthful. National Inspire Your Heart with Art Day. And so we hope to inspire you to maybe look at art differently. For those of you who may not been artistic people like me, but welcome or embrace and encourage those who are artistic. And so we have a beautiful special guest, beautiful soul inside and out. And so we're going to be sharing her art with you a little bit later. But again, before we hop in, I want to just remind you one more time because it takes 2.5 seconds to share the show. If you could go ahead and share it on Facebook, invite a friend. Many people have been going through different things, and so we just want to uplift them tonight. And so think about one or two people that you may work with or that you may do ministry with or just do life with, and go ahead and share that. We also want to remind you, after I take a sip of my seltzer, we want to remind you that we are empowering 3 times a week. So Monday nights at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't be on there any other time zone. Eastern Standard Time. I had somebody log in. It's like, are you guys on? No, we're off. So 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have pop-up prayer. It's about 15-20 minutes injection. Okay, a prayer, powerful prayer at that. Wednesday morning, we have empowerment prayer call where one of us, Naomi, Alisha, or myself, is teaching Feeding You Bible for Breakfast, and that's at 6 a.m. It is an early morning, but we do have a replay. I believe Naomi is sharing with you the ways to log in. And then, of course, every Thursday, 8 p.m., we are here, same time, same place. If you ever want to connect with us, if you want to partner with us, we actually had someone reach out recently. They are a master in self-care. And so if you want to maybe be a special guest, if you want to invite us out, invite us to do something virtual with you, partner with you, you can always contact us at info@wisdomonthewall.com. Additionally, if you want to learn about our nonprofit, Wisdom on the Wall Inc., you can visit our website, or if you want to give us a donation because we are a 501c3, you can do all of that at wisdomonthewall.com. So I'm going to remind you again to share. Share, share, share. I'm going to pass it on over to Miss Ali. Oh, I should have showed y'all my art earrings. National Inspire Your
Oh,
wait, there we go. My
oh,
heart
cute.
earrings. Lord have mercy. Anywho,
Oh, look,
I'm passing it
I
over
thought
to
it
you.
had written on there national. I'm like, what? Let's see.
Now I'm just trying to show you the heart. Just trying to show you the heart. That's all.
Oh, those are cute. Woo
Thank
woo.
you.
You're in the moment. Love it. All righty, y'all. Well, welcome to our Girl, What's Your Story with a Twist. This is our segment where we get a chance to share a little bit about what it is that we've done over this past week since the last time you saw us. It could be enjoying a good movie, a good show. Maybe we tried a new exercise routine. Maybe we went out of town. I don't know. It could be anything. But the key thing is something that we enjoyed, possibly made us smile, made us laugh, whatever it is. We will share that with you tonight. But I mentioned there is a twist. And the twist is that, that's what I'm trying to say, right? The twist is that it's going back to you too. So while we're sharing, we just ask that you type away in the chat. Let us know what you've been up to, because you never know, we might try it, and the next Girl, What's Your Story may be something that you inspired us to do. So with that, I'll go ahead and kick us off. And my Girl, What's Your Story tonight is about Undercover Boss. Now, I used to watch this show years ago. For those of you who may not be familiar with it, it's basically the CEO of a company wants to basically see what's going on in the trenches, for lack of a better word, and to make sure everything is going well. So they will go undercover, literally change their look, hair, all that, and go and work in the different sites that they have. And like I said, I used to watch it religiously every Friday. I think it came on Fridays years ago. Didn't know it was still on, but I guess I'm not surprised that it is, because it's such a wonderful show, and it's still being aired during COVID. And the episode the other day that I happened to come across was on the franchise, The Vitamin Shop. And I don't know about you, I've been in there before, purchased some things before. And so the CEO just wanted to see what was going on with the different franchises, more specifically in the Virginia area. And the reason why I really like this show is because, and you two may agree with me, when you think about being a business owner, it's not just always making money for yourself. It's putting yourself in a position financially where you could do things for other people as well, like on a grand scale. And that's what I really like about it. And this particular episode, one of the supervisors at one of the Virginia locations, she, during the time of working with her, she found out that her daughter had just passed away no more than a year ago. The daughter had been born with a heart challenge and actually lived to age 16. But, as a parent, you lose your child. That is just devastating. And of course, she's still working. And in the midst of all that, obviously, there were some financial challenges as well. And so she ends up living with someone. So, she's dealing with all that, but yet she has such a just a charisma about her. You wouldn't even know all of that was going on with her. And then also when she first started working there, she weighed 300 pounds. She was down to, I think, like 170 or something. She looked great. And it was all from using their products. And so the great thing about these stories is that, as the CEO, they never know what they're going to run into. And then it was another one of the guys that worked at one of the other locations. He was working 80 hours a week because his wife lost her job because of COVID. So he didn't get to see his wife, didn't get to see his children. And what was so great was at the end, again, for those who aren't familiar with the show, the CEO ends up revealing themselves, and then they make decisions as to what they may want to do for the employees. And I love when they do big money things. And so in this particular case, she gave money to the woman who had lost her daughter, also donated money to the American Heart Association to set up a foundation in her daughter's name. But the other thing was, she hands these keys, she lifts up these keys. And now I'm at this point, I'm bawling, because I'm like, I know exactly what's going on. And the woman's like, what is this? And she was like, you shared with me, you're basically sleeping on someone's couch, and this is your place to stay. It is yours. And I'm like, oh my God, like tissues and all over the place. But it's just that kind of stuff, when you think about being a business owner, we always talk about the sky is the limit in terms of your income. And I think the most rewarding thing is to be able to be in that situation and not be concerned about yourself. You think about giving somebody a place to live, or like what she did with the guy, she gave him multiple thousands of dollars, gave him a raise in the position so that he didn't have to work 80 hours a week. But just to be in a position where you can bless someone like that without worrying about how it's going to financially impact your finances, because you are, basically doing well enough where I could take care of you, not just my family, but also other people. So it was just so inspiring. If anybody has never watched it, I don't know when it comes on. I just happened to catch it. But look it up. It is just the most inspirational show that I think is out there. And it's so if you're a crybaby, you'll cry. So let me just say that. Make sure you have your box of tissues like I have right here, right beside you. So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. And I'm eager to hear what you two have been up to.
That's good, Alisha. I love that show too. And it's not one of those like I don't know when it comes on, but when I do catch it, it's like right at the perfect moment. And I don't know if I've ever watched that show and not cried. Like Mike's always like, you crying? Because it's just always it pulls on the heartstrings. I think for me specifically, because I see them as going like contribute or giving to the underdog, right? So people who worked and nobody, like they think nobody's paying attention. And all of a sudden, in a lot of cases, their life changes almost overnight based off of the gifts that these CEOs provide. So I do definitely love that show.
And to that point, real quickly, that's what the woman says. She's like, I'm just a 40-something-year-old woman working in Virginia. This is not supposed to happen. And, she lost it. And then again, I lost it again. But yeah.
And to see, I mean, it's amazing. Like I'm going to share this in number one. One of our bold laws for Keller Williams is the purpose of business is to fund a perfect life. And so as you were talking, I'm like, that is so perfect. Like you said, to just be able to bless people outside of our family, that's one thing. But to be able to be a blessing to somebody else is a total another thing. So love the show. I am in agreement with you on that, my dear. So for me, mine is really simple. You know what? I did enjoy it. My something, what I did this week, I'm going to say I did enjoy it because it did stretch me. And so today we had there's little challenges that they'll do at Orange Theory. So it could be on the row machine. It could be on the treadmill. And today was a treadmill challenge. So I normally scurry on in around 7:29-ish. Okay. So I don't really hear the introduction of the show. I'm just looking at everybody's face like, huh? And so anyway, so we had a treadmill challenge and we had to run on the treadmill for a mile. But we could go at our own pace. So you could go high speed, it's totally up to you because normally we're doing things in sync. But we could go at our own pace, which I appreciated. And the whole point was just to finish the mile and then you would move on to the row machine. So somebody finished last. That would be me. But somewhere I read that the first will be last and the last will be first. So it won't be like that always, okay? I was just happy to finish. And so that my coach, she pumping me up because she knew it was my first one, right? So I'm still relatively new. I was looking at it today. I joined back in September. So that was my first treadmill challenge, the first mile. But it really just taught me a lot. And so I noticed today, and I don't know if because I was there on Tuesday. I didn't recognize it on Tuesday, but I did notice today they're putting more words around the facility. So we had index cards on our treadmill, like be stronger than your excuses and all these things, right? So I really appreciate them encouraging us to like really just come and finish, right? Because we did have a lot of cancellations today. Thank God I wasn't one of them. But, it's like to get up in the snow and to like go work out for an hour is like a huge deal, and they make it a huge deal. So I really appreciate the coaches like digging us up, making us feel good, even even though we could probably be pushing a little bit harder. But the lesson that I took from that was, it's really a life lesson. Like, go at life at your own pace. You don't have to look at your neighbor, see what they're doing to the left and to the right, which, we do sometimes, but the point is to finish. So as long as you finish, you good. So don't compete or compare with anybody else, and just, encourage yourself. And honey, that little index card, I'm like, I can do it. So, and I'm a big advocate. If anybody's ever heard me teacher speak, I'm always just encouraging you to put affirmations around wherever you are, your mirror in the bathroom, post-its in your vehicle, whatever you got to do to keep yourself encouraged. So I just really appreciate their vibe. And I'm excited. I did my first treadmill, so now for the next time I can work on beating my speed.
And the thing was, you finished. I'm proud of you. I am so proud of you. When you said I came in last, I'm like, but you finished. So I'm glad you said that. That's a good thing. Woo-hoo!
That part that you finished. That's the part.
Thanks, ladies.
That's right. That's right. And as you were talking about affirmations, and I'm on my own personal journey of healing. And so I was talking to a sister of mine. She is a phenomenal, oh my gosh. And so some of the affirmations that she was saying, it included the no comparing, but therefore no worrying, no whining, no complaining, and no comparing. Those 4. So those are appropriate even for when you're working out, because there are plenty of times you want to start whining because it's getting too hard. You might start worrying like, oh my God, am I going to overexert myself? Can my body handle it? Or no complaining, like, when is this going to be over? How much longer do I got to be in here? Or no comparing, like, well, sis over there been working out for 20 years. Okay, you just started. So have some patience on yourself. Okay, you've been working out for 3 good months. You up here comparing yourself to somebody that's been working out for 25 years. Okay, no, you ain't gonna be as have as much endurance as they did. Mm-hmm. So those 4 are important. So when you said that, I felt very strongly to share that, because so many of us are in that same position where we are doing that constantly, though. Like, yes, that's the thing. Yes. Like, all day we're worrying about something, or we could be worrying about something or whining. You have to check in with yourself. Like, wait, am I whining? Am I whining? Because
go ahead and give it to them again, Naomi, so they can type it in the chat.
Oh yes, indeedy. The 4, no worrying. That's the first one. No whining, no complaining, and no comparing. Mm-hmm. And it goes, that can go for, look, I ain't look, the Lord will leave, won't he? He'll take over in a minute. Hey, I wasn't planning on using this for my girl. What's your story? But it's to preach.
But it works.
But somebody needed to, how the preacher say, I don't know why I'm saying this, but somebody needed to hear it. But those 4, seriously, because and that could be applied to any aspect of your life. Mm-hmm. So when you said that, it just got me to thinking, like, let me let her know this is real. So yes, we are proud of you for finishing. We are proud of you for not worrying, for not whining, for not complaining, and not comparing. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna go into my girl with your story, and it's very simple. These are called vitamin C drops. Okay, amazing. I first found out about this at the Dollar Tree, and I want to say me and Kendra is always doing something in the sun. But I think me and her may have been at the store and found them. Or no, maybe I did. No, it was me. I was by myself. But I came across these vitamin C tabs. Many of us, of course, we're in the cold winter months, and it's a lot going on. A lot of people with germs, not just COVID, because people think that's another parking lot comment. People all into COVID, they done forgot about the common cold, the flu, all these other things that are still circling around, right? So anyway, of course, y'all know I like supplements and things like that. So when I came across these vitamin C tabs, they come in different flavors: grapefruit, all in one bag, grapefruit, lemon, and orange. And I'm telling you, if you get a tickle or something in your throat, all you got to do is pop one of these bad boys, and that tickle gonna go away. And I was like, this little thing got that much power, but it works. And I keep them in my purse because if somebody get the hacking, I'm just like a church mother, honey. I will pass you one of them. Here you go. You need a vitamin C.
Look, you don't even ask them. You just give it to them.
That's
I
right.
don't even ask you. Take this.
You need you one of these. So, but yes, so these are a nice little thing, and it's a great source of vitamin C because it has about 135 milligrams of vitamin C in one. In no, the serving size is 2 drops. So if you're checking your calories and all that stuff, you can have 2 drops at a time. That's it, just the 2. Okay. And you're going to get 135 milligrams of vitamin C out of it. Now, anybody who's dealing with high blood pressure, be careful because there is 20 milligrams of sodium in it. So you do want to be careful of that. And it has quite a bit of sugar in it. They may have some sugar-free ones. I haven't seen those yet, but it does have sugar in it. So I'm just letting y'all know. But it's good. They work. That's all I'm going to tell you.
When you said you only can have 2, I'm laughing because you said you can only have 2, and I'm like, you better get that tickle out of your throat with those 2, or you messed up.
Right? Just those 2. So 2 drops. That's all you get. And after that, blessings unto you.
Love it. Oh, well, thank you, ladies, for sharing. I know I enjoyed it tonight. Hopefully we had some people share some things that we could look back at in the chat. But with that, I'm excited about our next segment. So I'm going to turn it right on over to you, Kadesha. Take it away.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm writing too slow. No worrying, no whining, no comparing, and no what?
Complaining.
Oh, complain. Oh, come on.
Help to Jesus.
That's going to help all of us.
That one I needed. Okay, thank you. All right. So speaking of preaching and ministering, we have a beautiful, like I said earlier, beautiful soul, both inside and out. But she is also a minister, an author, a wife, a mother, and a poet. So she's actually going to share some of her art with us. But Miss Shay Benjamin, has been singing and public speaking and acting since she was young. But she still looks young. Y'all know what they say, black don't crack. So, she still looks young. But soon as I was laughing when I read this, soon after she committed her life to God, or it says, and got saved for real, she began to use her voice to really spread the message of love, through preaching, motivational speaking, encouraging others, and her beautiful artistic gift of poetry. And so she is the author of Undefined, Shattering the False Reflections of Life. That's a mouthful, and that sounds enticing and good. She was born into a family full of ministers. Like I said, she's a minister herself. And so she can't run from the call. But she is married to her high school sweetheart, and they have 4 beautiful children: Sierra, Ava, Judah, and Cairo. I love those names, Shay. And so she's a lover of outdoors, road trips, dancing. And so we are looking forward to being inspired by her. Oh, and how can I forget? She is my dear sister in real estate, okay? So she wears many, many hats, and I'm just blessed to be connected to her, looking forward to her inspiring all of us through her gift of poetry. So before we bring her out, we're going to show a quick video.
I was back here like dancing as everything was going on. Like dun, dun, dun. That's a straight church introduction. I love it. I
Oh
love
my goodness. Thank you, honey, for taking time out of your busy schedule with your 4 children. Okay.
it. Jesus. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am honored to be here with you guys with wisdom. Yes. There's a lot of wisdom
Yeah.
in this room. I love it.
I love, look, they was giving some wisdom nuggets in the beginning. Look.
Listen, I wrote down my no worrying and no whining and no complaining and no comparing. Yes, I wrote it down.
I love
Absolutely.
it. So we're excited to glean from you as well, and for you to share your wisdom and your gift with the viewing audience. So we want to just hop right in, if that's okay.
Let's
What
go.
what really inspired you to be a poet, right? I'm like, I don't know if I could just stand there and try to like make sense of some words, and sometimes it rhymes, sometimes it doesn't. I feel like mine just it would fall flat. So what has inspired you to do that?
I've actually been writing for as long as I've known that I can. I've been writing for forever. I've written everything from like poetry to just short little stories and read them to my Barbie dolls and stuff. Like I've always been the one to make the card. I don't want to buy the card. Even now, I will make a card and write in it. I don't care how simple it is or how complex it is. I've always just loved writing, and it became an escape for me because I'm the youngest of 3 girls. And so whenever anything was going on in the house, I would always just kind of escape and just write or, and just talk to, like I said, talk to my dolls or just talk to the air, just whatever. It's just by myself. I loved who I could become through my pen. And so, yeah, the imagination that I would have either out loud by myself, to my dolls, with my friends, I was able to expound on that while I'm writing. And I kept my poetry private for a long time, not because there was anything wrong with it, but because it was like my personal, that's how I wrote in my journal. In my journal now, there's a lot of just poetry, just what I was feeling for the day. So yeah.
Wow, that's a blessing. Now, what? Uh, it seems like you've been doing it for some time.
Mhm.
So, what keeps you going now? Like, when somebody reaches out and says, "Shay, we need you to do poetry or whatever," like, what
Mhm.
motivates you now? Or do you ever come to a place where you don't have motivation? Like,
I was
I'm
gonna
like,
say, it doesn't, nothing has to motivate me. I absolutely love because I talk a lot. And so I talk a lot anyway. So I'm like, well, I can write a lot. Nobody's gonna stop me from writing a lot. So
Mhm.
I actually love twisting and mixing words. Like I love how they come out. And I'm like, okay, God, let's do this. Like let's write something dope. And so I love how you're able to take words that don't necessarily sound like they're supposed to rhyme if you pronounce them correctly. They're not supposed to rhyme, but once you say them in poetry, like you can make it flow and make it rhyme and twist this and metaphorically say that. I absolutely love it. So nothing has to motivate me. I'm motivated by life and just by the ability to write. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, you better go ahead and say it's dope.
Motivating me.
Yeah.
God is dope shirt. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Look, I'm sitting here listening to her. I'm almost motivated. So thank you
Yes.
for that. But can you speak to the connection between art and maybe your purpose, like how that all intertwines? Because there's a lot that you're doing, and it seems like it's kind of intertwined with your
Yeah.
purpose.
Absolutely. First of all, I do believe I saw a saying that I love, and I have it somewhere, but it said the earth, like it's spelled EARTH, and they said earth without art is just eh. And it's like
Oh
I'm like, yeah,
wow.
that's right. That's true. If you take the art out of life, period, it's like, well, that's boring. It's like, some movies, some classic movies are okay in black and white, but then when they show you in technicolor, like when they show you like this is what it really looked like, you like, okay. Like when Dorothy went from Kansas to the Emerald City, like this is it right here. And so like just grasping art in every area. First of all, God is a creator.
Yeah.
So he gives us each a piece of him, like we're called masterpieces. So to know that he gave me a piece of his creative ability, ooh, I'm like, God, whatever area that I can use this in, I don't care like what how unorthodox it looks or sounds or what have you. Like I am honored and inspired to be able to use a piece of you to be able to do whatever it is I need to do. Art goes into everything. Art, like you have to use art for advertisement. You have to use art for it doesn't matter what you're advertising. Anything from a doctor's office to a church flyer to, you know, a real estate poster or whatever the case may be. You use art. You use, you know, all your technical abilities, all your creative abilities. Art is just in that. And so for me to be able to pour out the creative ability that I have into anything, the purpose of it all is to spread the love of God, spread the word of God, let people know that there is a hope, let people know that they can be bigger than maybe where they are right now, let people help people to get inspired about, you know, life in general, help people to live. For a lot of people, they don't know how to live. And so if I can do that through art, through dancing, singing, writing, poetry, whatever it is, then I'm going to tap deep into that because it catches people's attention. Not everybody learns by just sitting and hearing a lecture. Some people need a visual. And so that's what I love to provide. I love it.
Girl, you just going in right now, honey. I love it. I love it because it is key. And I think we forget that it may look different, right? The four of us, the creativity that God has put in us may look different. But nonetheless, as you said, we still have pieces. Come on with the pieces of his creativity. I love that. But what I'm like looking at you, I'm like, how is this girl doing all this? But I love how it seems as if this art is an escape for you. Like it's almost like I love the fact that you make time for it. Like, yes, I have a long resume of things that I have to do, but I make time for the gift. I love it.
Yeah. I have to, like you said, it's an escape. Is because in real life, like in real life or secret, I'm like reserved or I'm shy or like unless I know you real well, then you know I'm like like I'm really loud. But in the beginning, I'm just like hi. but after a while, I can be like woo. But the art, if I'm on stage, you would never know. My friends will be like, Jay, I would have never guessed that you are like shy. And sometimes you have to like go to the other side of the room just to catch your breath and be away from everybody for a second. Like, yeah, I just give me a moment to breathe and then I'll come back. But on stage, I become somebody completely different. And then when I walk off the stage, I go back and I just sit. So it's definitely an escape. Definitely. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, it's so many thoughts going through my mind, especially with you being a preacher. So I'm like, I can only imagine what your sermons are like. Like I would love to hear you preach. That's one thing. The other thing that's coming to mind is there's a lot going on with you. You see the success threads and seeds and everything, but everybody has a story. So can you share just like, you know, what obstacles have you actually had to overcome to get to this point where you are? You know what I mean? Because I'm sure people are like, oh my God, I wish I could be just like that, as outgoing and all that, you know, I mean, to the point that you're comfortable, but could you share, you know, a little bit on that?
To get to who I am today, I'm actually still fighting to remind myself every day, Jay, be this person. Like you're okay. I have to tell myself, like you were talking about the affirmation statements. I have to tell myself every single day. My affirmation statement is Philippians 4:13, but in the amplified version. And it says that I am self-sufficient in God's sufficiency. Like I am ready for anything and equal to anything through Christ that infuses me with inner strength and confident peace. That is what I say to myself every single day, because I have to remind myself, like, Jay, like just breathe, because there is a lot going on. I have 4 children. They are 18, 9. How old is this child? 2? No, he's 4 and then 2. So like I have all of these are here in my house, and then my husband. So I have 5 children. So there's a lot. There's a lot happening, and I was 17 when I first got pregnant. So just coming from that and having to walk through life from that point and keep myself going and keep myself, back and forth in depression, out of depression, all the different things that would come at me, from church, from family, from myself. Nobody in my family or that was on my side, nobody ever told me I couldn't do anything. Nobody ever told me I couldn't do anything. I told myself. Everybody that was in my corner was really in my corner. Everybody has always said to me, Che, you're dope. Che, you can do this. Che, you have God. Che, you're anointed. Che, you're this, you're that. Meanwhile, I'm just like, yeah, but I did this, I did that. Like continually bringing up all of the things that I've done. So poetry and writing being the escape, I still have books and books of things that I've written from years ago. And every now and again, God will be like, go back and read it. Like, go back and see what you wrote, where you were at that point, at that time, and compare it to where you are now. You're not that girl anymore. Every time I would get pregnant, I would go back into 17, 18 years old. And I wasn't able to enjoy it. And God kept having to remind me, Che, you're not that girl anymore. Like, you're okay. So walking through the steps of like just being delivered for real, like walking through the steps of being able to come out of who I was even just a few months ago, being able to be snatched out and really see like you're good.
Yeah.
God is in you. And first of all, it's not about you. Like it's not you anyway. So for you to be in this low place, that means you're focusing on you when you should be focusing on God and what he put in you. Focus on what it is that he wants you to do. That's it. That's all. And then you wouldn't be concerned about what you look like, what you sound like, how this, how that. He said, don't be concerned about tomorrow. Be concerned about today and what I asked you to do today. And so overcoming all of that, and again, still walking through all of that, that's keeping me. That is
Yeah. Well, go ahead and pass the offering plate. This is my offering plate. Let me take my toothpicks out, okay? So we can put the offering in there. That's funny. That's too much because you was just you. I mean, I appreciate your transparency and your vulnerability. Because it is it's a daily, a daily thing, a daily struggle. And one of my affirmations, and y'all just go ahead and type in your affirmations, whatever your affirmations are, in the chat, type them in so we all can be encouraged by what we're speaking to ourselves. But one of mine is I am enough. And that's what I kept hearing as you were talking. We have to remind ourselves, I'm enough. I am enough. Not because of anything that I've done, but because of who he is in me. That makes me and you and everybody else enough. So I love it, honey. And first of all, what 18-year-old? What? Where is the 18? Excuse me. Where did that come from? Okay.
18, about to graduate. I'm like, good. She said, Mommy, you're old. Excuse me, I'm not old. I'm getting there. I just had a birthday. I just turned 36. So yeah.
I love it. And I want to pardon me. I want to pronounce your name correctly. Che.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. My apologies. I've been saying
nope, my entire family calls me Shay. My grandmother calls me Shay. My family calls me Cheyenne. I have so many different names.
Why do black people do that? Why we do that? You got one government and then you got 30 other names where when you're in the street, they're like, what? Who they talking to? Oh, that's me. Excuse me. Sorry. That's funny. Che, I love it. I love it. And I love you. You did it. You did it all the way. Oh my goodness. So outside of art or poetry, what other forms of art inspire you personally?
Music. If there was how many love languages are there? 5? If there was a number 6, music. I have I can't even explain how I
Mm.
feel about music. And it's everything. Like in my phone, but everything in my phone goes from ratchet to righteous. Like I have so many like the music. I completely love. I don't care what. I just if you're really saying something and the beat is getting me, not like the crazy stuff or the stupid stuff that we're hearing, but like that real good like 90s or early 2000s or like that real from down home Georgia, Mississippi all the way up to Kirk Franklin crazy self. Like everything. It's music. Music is that's what I love. It flows through my veins, and I come from a musical family. My mama got that good mama singing voice, and my sister sings, and my cousin sings, and my mama plays the keyboard, and my sister plays the drums, and my uncle played the organ, and my grandma got that Mahalia Jackson. Like it's just music is all in it. My daughters, they can sing their little butts off, and so like I love it's music, music
Oh,
and dance.
I'm laughing at Renisha, the artist, because she's a musician as well, and she's over here talking about me, all three of us is nodding while you talking. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
we are some old young church
Oh,
mothers, okay?
I'm telling you, I love old church. Give me some good old church music, some old Fred Hammond, some old Hezekiah Walker, like 90s old music, some old Shirley Caesar and some old Andre Crouch. Like give me that, and that feeds my soul. And I'll do Tasha Cobbs, my God, and I'll take all the new stuff too, but like give me the good stuff, the stuff that really feeds your soul. Music. It's
Oh
music.
my goodness, I love it. Look, Che, I love you too. Oh my God, I'm like, this is just too much. I have to take that phrase, ratchet to righteous, because that's the
Yeah,
same. You look at the music, like, you just said it right there. I was like, oh my goodness, that's what I have to use. Oh
it
my.
is. It is. I'm like, please don't let my phone be on shuffle in church, Jesus, and like it's plugged up to the system. Because oh my
That
goodness, I
is
have two
funny, but
Zubas, so
I think
like
that's
I
all
have
of
a
us.
whole bunch of music. I
I
have a
gotta
whole
use
bunch of
that. I'm
music on
telling
my
you.
phone.
I'm going to use that one. But I want to ask you to speak to parents, because you talked about
Okay.
being in an environment where you grew up where, it was, you could do everything. You could do
Yeah.
everything. And you think about your gifts and your talents. But there are some parents maybe who, I don't want to use the word old school, but has the mindset where there's a particular path you need to follow, like go to
Yeah.
high school, graduate, go to college, get a good job. And maybe somebody, is the parent of a child that's really artistic, can sing
Yeah.
well, maybe they could dance and want to do that professionally. Putting your parent hat on, like, what would you say to that parent to be able to encourage that child or their children?
Yeah. You have to give them space. Like give them space to experience, because like I said in the beginning, art goes into everything. So you never know, even if they do become a doctor, or even if they do become a lawyer, or even if they do become a teacher, like who's to say they can't become a music teacher, or who's to say they can't become I saw a video of a doctor that sings to his patients, and who's to say that they won't do something else, one of their other endeavors won't include or involve art of some type. Even if you can't afford to put them in something, like you can't afford to put your daughters in dance, or you can't afford to put your sons in basketball or whatever it is that they want to do. You can't afford to put them in an art class or whatever the case may be. Give them space at home to be able to feel out what it is that they really like to do, and give them the option, like show them, this is what I want you to do, but I also want you to be able to tap into what your passion may be, what your gift may be, because when you stifle them, you never know what purpose God may have for them. And so if you stop them from you know being able to use every inch of them, every ounce of them. The Bible says, whatsoever you find your hands to do, do it as unto the Lord. He didn't say specifically this, that, or that. So it doesn't matter. Like I could paint the stripes on the sidewalk, on the street, and like that is my calling. Like you have no idea what they could do with what's on the inside of them. So as a parent, it may be scary to see your child going in that direction, because not a lot of people flourish. Not a lot of people, are successful in the art area or in the art world. You have to really, I mean, like, really be elite. It's like the Olympics of jobs. Like, you have to really be on the top for somebody to really dive into your art and to really see your talent or your gift. And so, but if you allow them to express themselves at home, then it's a safe space. You can see them doing it. You can maybe even help them cultivate it and show them, like, okay, so if you do go into this area of, business, if you do end up being a lawyer, maybe you'll be able to afford to then have an art studio. Maybe you'll be able to afford to then, take these kind of classes. If you don't want them to do that as far as like a job or a career goes, encourage them to keep doing it on the side, because everybody needs an outlet. You can't just work, 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 and then, you don't have anything to kind of like brush the day off. Allow them to have that as an outlet. My son, my 4-year-old, he's on the autism spectrum, and he has sensory disorder. So we noticed he was like drawing all over the walls. And I'm like, this is more than just him being a little kid. Like, there's something about him drawing on the walls. And so we're like, okay, we took him to his room and we said, okay, you see Judah's bed? You see Judah's wall? Color here. And so in his room, like, we gave him the crayon and he looked at us like, no, you're trying to trick me, because then I'm gonna get a whooping if I color on the wall. I already know it. Like, this is not for real. But so me and daddy, we're like, okay, we'll do it first. And he's looking at us like, y'all are crazy. But we gave him the crayon and we said, okay, you do it. And so he's like, okay. So he stopped coloring on my walls everywhere else around the house. And he just, he stayed in his room. Every now and again, we might saw a green streak downstairs. And I'm like, hey, your wall. And so now his wall is full of his canvas of stuff. And so we gave him a space. And with my daughter, even though, we can't afford to always put them in dance, they've been in dance, tap, they've been in ballet, they've done everything when we could do it. Outside of that, where we encourage them here at home. You want to be in cheer? Me and you sit down and watch some cheer videos on YouTube so you can see technique. You want to sew clothes, or you want to make clothes for your Barbie dolls? Then let me send some pictures to one of my friends. And I sent pictures to one of my friends, and her mom gave her a free sewing machine that she just had around her house. So like, stuff like feed into them.
Yeah.
Feed into what it is. You never know where they could go.
I love it. That's good. Parenting 101 from Miss Benjamin.
I'm learning myself. So
well, honey, we have loved it, but we not going to let you go without you giving us something. So you have to go ahead and grace us with your gift. Give us a snippet of something.
Snippet. Okay. Yes, it would definitely have to be a snippet, because most of my poems are like 3 or 4 minutes long. Okay. Let me see. Oh, okay. Give thanks. That is my favorite one to perform. And again, it came while I was complaining. I always write the best poetry when I'm sad, mad, complaining, or something like that. And it always comes out like beautifully. I was complaining about life, and God is like, so you're just going to complain about everything and not be thankful for the things that I've already given you. And so it came out just like that, and it's called Give Thanks. And I'll start from how dare we petition the throne, making our requests known without first thanking God for hearing us, opening up an ear to us, drawing near to us, placing no fear in us, but interfering that spirit with power and love. A sound mind like Christ, who, by the way, gave up his life that ours might be made right, that we might one day see the Father as he has face to face. Stepped down from heaven, flesh he became. Long story short, he conquered death, hell, and the grave. A life as a king he gave up, that we might have the chance to change up our thoughts and acts of sin instead of damnation, so that we could be caught up to live with him, dine with him, walk with him, talk with him, shine with him. I'm in him and he's in me. Because of love so unconditional, I have life eternal. So how dare I petition the throne without first saying thanks, without first giving praise, without first making it known that I know him and his name is great. His name is great. The great I am, the Lion, the Lamb, the Alpha, the Omega, the Father, the Savior, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Prince of Peace. Listen, like the Energizer Bunny, I could keep going and going on and on, day after day, about your many ways, the ways that you've made time after time, new mercies, new grace, refreshed unto me day after day. So how dare I not say thanks? So caught up in a life and all that it has to offer me without offering any time to God, not paying your tithes to God. Okay, so you don't have a job where make a lot of money, but again, what about your time with God? Giving your mind to God, thinking on things that are pure and lovely, righteous and holy, letting the mind in you be like the one that was in Christ, an example of right, being in right standing with God, demanding flesh be subject to the Spirit of God, spirit be coherent with God, agreeing and not grieving the Spirit of God, but giving your heart to God, because that's where you start with God, your heart to God. Woo.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
First of all, you have changed the whole spirit of the show. Okay. Let's just say that. Okay.
Oh my
God. You really are a gift. You yourself are a gift. And everything that God puts in you is just, honey, that's the icing on the cake. So I really do appreciate you, and I'm so glad that we were able to get you on here.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. I am so humbled. Thank you so much, ladies.
You're so welcome. So give us your contact information just in case somebody wants to book you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So most of the time I answer my email, which is my first name, Chaye, CHAYE, the letter J is in John, B is in boy @gmail.com. And then, of course, on Facebook, I do not know. Isn't that awful? I do not know my Facebook handle. But it's under my name, Chaye Benjamin, my first name and my last name. My first name, CHAYE, last name Benjamin. You can always look me up. I'm always there. Okay. So anytime you want to contact me, Facebook or email, I'm there. Yep, there it is.
I love it. Well, thank you again, my dear. May God bless you and your entire family.
This whole house of people.
Yes, may the blessing fall on the whole house.
Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness, I look so much. Well, first of all, I can see you doing a CD, but we'll talk later. But I look forward to just kind of doing some things with you, and you are officially a part of the Wisdom on the Wall and When Wisdom Talks family.
Yes. Awesome.
Love you, lady. Have a good night.
Love you. Good night, ladies. Thank you. God bless you.
Love you.
Thank you. That is funny. I almost hit leave the studio. I thought the show was over because she could have just wrapped it all the way up.
Drop the mic. It's like that was powerful. Oh my goodness.
You quiet over there, Naomi, girl. Go on, unmute yourself and say something.
What? Well, I'm always quiet during the interview because y'all be handling it. But I mean, you had already took the words out of my mouth when you talked about her transparency. And there's so many people in the same position who are parents, who are wearing many hats and just need to hear somebody else share their story and what inspires them. So I kudos to Chaye because you were giving so many nuggets tonight. Thank you. And I was just taking it all in as my two sisters always lead the conversation.
It was really good. She, definitely inspired me a lot.
I know that's right.
Show, so
woo-hoo. I had like chill bumps as she was doing the poetry. Like, woo, man.
That definitely resonated.
That little piece, like the Energizer Bunny, I could go on and on. I was like, all right, now. It's like
that whole piece of gratitude is major.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. That's just powerful. Oh my goodness. What a gift and talent.
Absolutely. Well,
like Musa. First grade.
We can keep it in the same vein of what is it, y'all? National Inspire Your Heart with Art.
With
Inspire Your Heart with Art Day.
yes.
There is a beautiful artist that I would love to highlight for Tell Me Something Good, and I guess that's gonna wrap it up. Yes, Lord. Let's see if I can get it together, honey. Child. But I am talking about inspiration and talking about art. You know, Tabitha Brown is one of our faves. I know Naomi follows her, I believe. Jean actually introduced me to Tabitha, well, via virtually introduced me to Tab virtually. I don't know, maybe a year ago or less, but nonetheless, she is an artist for sure. She's an actress and she's a comedian and a social media personality, but she's also just an ambassador for Christ. And I just love her boldness, but I love how God has really taking her gifts and just elevating her platform. So anyway, this was one of the things that God has recently done, put her on the Ellen show. So I just want to show a little a snippet of that.
Great. It's good to see you. Thank you. So you did something for us for Ellen Tube. So thank you so much for that.
I had so much fun. It was like a dream come true for me.
Well, it was great for us. We loved having you. And you're very popular for posting things on social media. How did that? This is an interesting story. Tell everybody how that came about.
Well, I first started. First of all, I never wanted to do videos, and let's be honest, okay? I was an actress. You know, I moved here to pursue acting, and I was always told if you do videos, honey, they kind of frown upon that, and nobody took you serious. And so I tried to always stay away from it. But when I had gotten sick, and I had like what I call my last final call to Jesus in the bathroom. I had a meeting in the bathroom with him. I was like, Lord, if you heal me, you can have me. And later I had a dream and saw myself on like a show, but the screen was real small. And I was like, okay. As you know, as a kid, always my dreams have always meant things to me. So I woke up and I was like, okay, what was that? You know, reveal that to me, Lord. And I heard a voice that said, start doing videos. And I was like, yeah, no.
I wanted to show that because we really need to pay attention to our dreams and the things that God reveals to us. You know, it literally started with a dream for her and her being able to see herself doing or using the gifts that God has given her. And one thing that we didn't get to see, but one thing that's so special about this is her mother, who is now deceased, really loved the Ellen show. And so for her to be able to live out that dream, not just for herself, but for also her mother, which is, you know, something that we have talked about privately, is important because, again, we're not just doing it for ourselves, we're doing it for our families, our communities, and so forth. So artists can make it, first and foremost. You know, you really have to just believe in yourself and believe in the gift that God has given you. So kudos again to Miss Che Benjamin, who was on the show. We appreciate you, honey. Kudos to Tab doing her thing and every other artist. We are all artists in our own right. So we are so excited that you stopped in this Thursday. We hope that something that was said from the four of us inspired you to kind of just start stirring up the gifts, whatever gifts that you have that God has given you. And remember that you are creative. So stop telling yourself that you're not creative. You are creative because we are made in the image of the Creator. So this episode of When Wisdom Talks was brought to you by Wisdom on the Wall, Inc. and Be Inspired Global. Remember, we will be here next week, next Thursday. Actually, that's our year anniversary of being on. So we hope that you will join us. Yes, next week, next Thursday, 8 p.m., same place, same time. In the interim, remember to stay safe, stay blessed, and stay in faith, y'all. Have a good night.
See ya.